Being an MMA fans in the last couple of months have been a bit difficult. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if you guys have felt it, but there's been a bit of a down in hype, engagement, and as a MMA content creator, I always struggle during those times because I feel like I'm losing momentum. But at the same time, like, what can I do, right? I can't create hype. I can't create engagement. I mean, I try my best with the videos, but all in all, if a fight and the story that the UFC is building isn't where it needs to be, then people are not going to want to watch it. So that's what's been happening. I mean, I didn't even cover UFC 315 on this channel. I did a deeper dive. I'm working on a deep end for the main channel. And I'm actually working on another video for the main channel, which is going to talk about these struggles that I think like the UFC is facing right now, just because they're not marketing fights the right way. They're not promoting fights the right way. They're coming to Canada, Montreal, which is where I live. I actually live here. A lot of people close to me that knows I watch UFC. They all told me, like, "Are you going to the UFC?" And I didn't go. I didn't go because maybe it was like a pride thing, but I felt like I was encouraging being lazy, encouraging the UFC to put on trash fights in Canada, in Montreal, because people are just gonna buy it regardless, because they don't come here often. So the UFC just kind of allow themselves to put on weak fights, weak cards, because they know Montreal's Canadians, whatever, Canadians here, Quebecois, we're gonna buy regardless. And that's the thing, right? So a lot of people bought it regardless of how shitty the card was. In the end, it wasn't that bad of a card, right? The fights were pretty decent. Bilal Muhammad decided to not be boring for once, and he lost the belt in the process. But you know, it was a great fight. It was a decent fight, decent main event, some cool moments with Jose Aldo. But all in all, in the past few months, it's been boring. It's going to be boring, especially up until UFC 316. I mean, Marab and O'Malley fight that nobody asked for. So again, there's a lot to complain about, but the UFC always does this. There's like some pretty low moments throughout the year, and we start to complain, and fucking I hopped on the train, started to complain. I'm gonna make a video about the whole thing. I don't even know if I should post it now that I think about it, because the fights that Dana White and the UFC just announced today are incredible. And at the same time, I say incredible because it's incredible just because we haven't been in that like normal zone with the UFC where it's like just the right fights that's supposed to happen are happening. For some reason now we've like had weird fights that we don't really want. You know, John Jones, Stipe Miocic, Marab O'Malley too. Like some fights that the UFC put together is that we're just questioning, like, why do we have this? And so even I feel like that's what made the UFC so popular, because they put on fights that the fans wanted to see. And so even though this should be normal, this should be just like regular UFC, we're just back to normal. We can breathe and be like, oh, this is why I became a UFC fan. This is a reminder of why people are UFC fans. This is a reminder of why I am a UFC fan, is because of fights like this. Because the fights that are supposed to happen are happening. Even though maybe the highest level of hype for these matchups would have been Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria. But at the same time, I understand Islam Makhachev kind of worry about fighting another featherweight, because I know so many people would have been like, it's a fake legacy that he has. You know what I mean? So many fights that he's been in that there's just asterisks next to them, right? It's a featherweight, it's coming up on short notice, whatever it is. So I understand Makhachev's kind of, he just wants a challenge that people are going to respect, even though JDM is kind of like, I don't want to say a beatable guy, but for Islam, he kind of is, right? It's a favorable matchup for him, so people are still gonna yap. But I mean, he's gonna have double champ status at that point, so it's like it's a checklist that he can cross off of his list, whatever you say, and so that kind of makes it easier for him to pick that matchup. But at the same time, it's like definitely the most hyped and engaging fight that probably everybody wanted to see was Islam Topuria, but I was always the guy to kind of defend Islam in this position, because I was like, but you guys are going to talk shit. When Islam wins, people are going to say, but he was a featherweight coming up and he didn't prove himself at lightweight and all that, blah, blah, blah. So it's like, I was the one defending Islam. I've always been a big Islam fan, and so I understood his perspective on it. And if I was in Islam's shoes, I would have, think twice about taking another featherweight on your legacy, because that's becoming your entire reign at that point, you know? So anyways, all of that to say that, yes, the most hyped and engaging fight would have been Islam versus Topuria. But I personally understand Islam wanting to move up. So I put my hands up and I'm like, all right, I accept the second best option, which is Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. I'm very happy to see that, even though a big part of me thinks that my boy is most likely going to get slept here. I've talked about this and even dreamed about this potential matchup. Like, it's not good. It's not very good for Charles Oliveira. But before we dive into like what I think about these matchups, which I'll probably talk about it a bit later on in this video. I just wanted to thank the UFC for putting this up and reminding me, like I said, why I'm a UFC fan, and a lot of you, and making my job fun a bit again. Because now I have some interesting things to talk about. Now I can make some interesting stories, build up something. Finally, I feel the fire in me now brewing. And you know, this is the life of being an MMA content creator, because sometimes you just go through fucking dry spells, bro, where it's just nothing to talk about. And I'm not, to be fair, this is the second channel. I'm posting this on TFB Stocks. Like, I'm not going to come and sit here and talk to you guys about shit that I don't care about. And maybe I'm just not enough of a hardcore fan to be yapping about like a Bilal fight, even though it was a pay-per-view. I was a lazy bitch, but it's still like, I can't fake hype to you guys. I can't. I can write a story. I can edit a video. I can build something up when I have time, but sitting on this chair and improvising a story, improvising a video to you guys, I have to be interested. I have to be interested in what I'm talking about. I have to be engaged in the topic. And so that's why you see rare videos on TFB Stocks, because I only come here when I'm actually engaged in what I'm going to be talking about. And that's when you get the best video, when you get the best, you know, content out of this, or else I'll just fake it and you'll see through it, because I'm a bad liar in the first place. So let's just react to Dana White. I didn't watch the live. I wanted to see, you know, how he talked about this, if there was more information that he talked about. I know about the fights that he announced. That's the right word. So we have Ilya versus Makhachev. We have Chimaev versus DDP, which is incredible as well. And we also have JDM versus Islam. Let's see Dana White announcing these fights, see if there's more info on this. Oh, this is a 6-minute video. I don't know for how long he's going to be yapping for.
Mark.
Man, he's pink as hell, huh?
For everybody to get on.
He's so pink.
Before I start firing off announcements, let me start with this. Current lightweight champion Islam Makhachev is going to move up to the welterweight division to face Jack Della Maddalena. What do we all love about Islam? If he had moved up to fight Bilal, he was a 5-1 favorite. Moving up to fight Jack, the odds makers have this fight at even.
What?
This guy is...
Oh my God. Dana White, bro. Like, sometimes, bro, you see, this is the thing, bro. You're a promoter, so I get it. Like, you need to promote stuff, but like, are we going to act as if JDM versus Islam is a 50-50 fight? Come on, man. This is ridiculous. Bilal was a more difficult matchup for Islam, and that's pretty fucking obvious. But sometimes I just can't take Dana White serious, bro. The thing he says, it just doesn't make sense. Like, I get you're a promoter, but like, base your fucking facts on facts. Base the things you say on facts. Like, come on, man. JDM's a striker. He's a boxer, bro. We've seen Islam destroy boxer over and over throughout his career. Bilal is definitely a harder matchup. But like I said, he just wants to create a narrative to where, like, Islam's a dog for... No. Islam's not a dog. He's definitely going after the favorable matchup, but he wants a double champ status, so we respect him, and he deserves that. So, fair. This is just bullshit, though.
Is a beast. Islam is the fucking best. Jack, obviously, coming off damage in that fight, so he's accepted the fight. I'll let you guys know when I pick a time and date, but this fight is definitely happening. All right. UFC 317 International Fight Week, June 28th from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. You all know Ilya Topuria, undefeated, 16-0, vacated his featherweight title. He knocked out Volk, Holloway, and now he's moving up to lightweight, and he will face former lightweight champion and number 2 ranked Charles Oliveira for the vacant lightweight title. Co-main event. Flyweight champion Pantoja will defend his belt against Kai Kara France.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Pantoja hasn't lost a fight in 5 years.
Holy shit, the fucking flyweight division is so dead, though. It's ridiculous. I feel like Pantoja already fought Kai Kara France, didn't he? Maybe not when he was champion, but before, maybe on his run. Oh my God, they're recycling matchups at flyweight like insane. I feel like it should have been Moreno at this point. No, might as well. Like if we're recycling matchups, let's do the fourth or third fight between, because Moreno Pantoja in that championship fight, I don't know if it's 1 or 2, whatever, if they count the Ultimate Fighter. It was a banger. It was a banger of a fight at UFC 290. I think it won Fight of the Year. Why aren't we redoing that one? I don't know, but I guess they need to give Kai Kara France after he got a knockout over Steve Erceg. But it's like, bro, like they need new guys at flyweight though. I ain't gonna lie, they need to go find some regional guys, other promotions, but they need to invest in the flyweight division because it's getting recycled. Kaya Sakura was a good addition. They need to keep doing that because we don't have enough guys, bro. It's just in rotation, and Pantoja's beating them all.
His last 4 wins have come in the very first round. Also on that card, Paulo Costa versus Kopylov, Dariush versus Moicano.
Oh, that's a good fight.
Great fights that I'll announce soon.
Who else?
Tip, and a lot of other great Dariush versus Moicano. Also on that card, Paulo Costa versus Kopylov.
Paulo Costa versus Kopylov. I think they were supposed to make that matchup a few months ago before Costa fought Whitaker. Kopylov, maybe is that the guy? Maybe not. I'm sure he was supposed to fight a Russian dude. I don't know if. Like Kopylov, I remember him with the curly hair and stuff. He got wrestled by some dude recently. So hopefully Paulo Costa can get back because he's one of those guys recently also that's been on a downfall. I added him to my video, the different style of fighters in the brawlers category. And a lot of people are like, why are we adding Paulo Costa in 2025? And looking back, you're right. You know what I mean? But I guess the Paulo Costa architect fighter, he is a brawler, but in that Sean Strickland fight, that was tough to watch. Really tough to watch. Hopefully he can get back.
Versus Moicano, and a lot of other great fights that I'll announce soon. Tickets for you.
Dariush Moicano, they were supposed to fight, right? UFC 311. They rebooked that fight. Fair enough. I am mad.
UFC 317 go on sale Friday, and don't forget to pick up your tickets for UFC X. All your favorite fighters are gonna.
UFC 317, that's International Fight Week. I think they always put out bangers. Always put out bangers in Las Vegas. It's just unfortunate that these heavy stacked fights can't be like spread throughout the years because then sometimes we just have these fucking horrible pay-per-views like this UFC 315 one. Like, I feel like there's a better way that they can spread out these big fights throughout the year so we can have actually worthy pay-per-view. Like, I don't want to pay. I don't even pay, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's worth that fucking $80 price, and there's no fucking fight cards. There's no hyped up stories that I'm interested in. Like, why am I buying a $80 pay-per-view for? That's why you stream.
That's other fun shit. Vacant. Yes, vacant. Yes. Vacant title. Yes. He's moving up. Some of you must have come in late. You missed the good shit. You got to show up on time. UFC Abu Dhabi, July 26th, at Etihad Arena. Many of you have already seen this, but the main event will be...
Oh, of course.
Whitaker versus De Ridder.
Oh, okay, no.
For those of you that didn't see it and don't know, De Ridder has exploded into the...
Whitaker... Why are they always putting Whitaker in Abu Dhabi for? Because I feel like he fought Chimaev in Abu Dhabi. I feel like he fought Cannonier in Abu Dhabi. He fought Aliskerov in Abu Dhabi. Why is Whitaker always in Abu Dhabi? Can we get him in a US pay-per-view or Australian card, whatever? Why does he always go to fucking Abu Dhabi, bro? I don't get it.
With all 3 of his fights ending in finishes, including his most recent TKO win over Bo Nickel less than 2 weeks ago. He was a 2-division champ at ONE FC, and obviously this is a massive fight for him with former world champion Robert Whitaker. Also on the card, Shara Bullet versus Marc-Andre Barrios, who's coming off a...
Shara Bullet? Hey, guys, I swear to God, I'm only hyped about this because I saw Marc-Andre Barrios at a poutine bar in Montreal last week after his weekend. I swear this is a true story. Bro, this is so much fucking value content for you guys. But because I am from Montreal, right? I live around these parks. After the pay-per-view, I didn't go to Bell Center, but I watched it from home, and we went out to the casino, lost a lot of money, and then went to eat at a poutine spot in Montreal. And I saw just Marc-André Barriault just outside on the fucking sidewalk with his team, just waiting around. And I was like, bro, nobody knew who he was. And I was like, bro, I must be a fucking hardcore fan to know about Marc-André Barriault, because we're just sitting there like, bro, weren't you in a fight like an hour ago? And like his coach talked to me and he was like, yeah, Bruno Silva, I mean, we heard he's good. We heard he's awake, blah, blah, blah. So he told me that they knew about Bruno Silva help because Bruno Silva was on the floor for a long time after that knockout. But yeah, it was just a funny coincidence to see him the night of the fight, like an hour after he fought or something, maybe more than that. But you get what I'm saying. He was just out there just vibing with his girl and his coach, just chilling. Like, but nobody knew. And I was like, I'm the one that shows love to UFC fighters, especially the ones from here. And so Marc-André Barriault, this one guy, he's fighting Shara Bullet, which is this is going to be a tough fight. Marc-André Barriault definitely needs to wrestle. But Marc-André Barriault is a big dude for middleweights. And yeah, I mean, that's going to be an interesting fight. I just thought I'd share this little story because Marc-André Barriault being at a poutine bar right after his fight, but nobody knew who he was. It's just crazy how UFC is just so underrated. You guys watching this video, like, you need to realize how niche UFC is actually in MMA. How niche it is, especially in a fucking liberal country like Canada. Like, nobody really knows about it. So, especially not the undercard fighters and stuff. People just walk around and they're fucking UFC fighters. Like, I couldn't believe it. I thought as soon as you're in the UFC, you're like a big famous star. Actually, you're not. You're just a regular guy who could destroy everybody. So, anyways, Shara Bullet versus Barriault. That's going to be a great fight. I really just think Barriault needs to grapple. He needs to wrestle. He needs to push up against the fence. Because Shara Bullet's a really, really great striker. And yeah, it's going to be a fun fight. Excited for Barriault. He's going to get paid. I'm happy for him. Let's go Quebec, man.
UFC Fight Night Abu Dhabi from the Etihad Arena, July 26th. And you can watch this live and free on ABC, the network. Tickets are available now. All right.
Yo, there's so many announcements, bro.
I didn't read it.
So many that I didn't even know.
You guys already.
I'm glad I watched this.
Versus Jones done.
Wait, what? What did he say? Say Jones?
Ready. We'll get Aspinall versus Jones done.
Hey, I ain't mad at that. I don't know if I believe it, but Aspinall versus Jones. We've been waiting, Dana. Dana Pink, we've been waiting. Come on, man. Get it done.
UFC 319. We're returning to the United Center in Chicago, Illinois, August 16th for the first time in 6 years. In the main event, the middleweight champion, Dricus du Plessis, will defend his belt.
But does he still call him Dricus, bro? Is it not Dricus? Chat.
Against Khamzat.
What is it, chat? Twin.
Dricus' last 4 wins have come over former champs Sean Strickland, Israel Adesanya, and Robert Whittaker. He hasn't lost in 7 years. 20 of his 23 wins have come by finish, and now he faces the undefeated 16-0 Khamzat Chimaev. This is a badass fight, and the fight you've all been waiting for. UFC 319 is back at the United Center in Chicago on August 16th.
I feel like that's Khamzat's first fight outside of Abu Dhabi in a while too, right? Didn't he fight Usman, Whittaker in Abu Dhabi? He's coming to Chicago. I'm glad. That's great. I don't know. I felt maybe that was him or that was Shara Bullet that couldn't fight outside of Abu Dhabi, I think, right? So that's why he's always on that card. But I thought Chimaev maybe had a similar issue, but like with some visa stuff, but maybe not. So I'm glad he's out of there, and they're not just appealing to fucking, Dricus is the champion. So even though it's not fucking South Africa or anything like that, it's still like a middle ground. I would kind of hated the fact that Whittaker had to fight in Abu Dhabi in Khamzat's home turf. You know what I mean? Like he's the contender. He's the higher ranked guy. Why are we doing that to but at least they're not doing that to the champion, Dricus du Plessis. So I'm glad. This is a cool, great matchup, great card.
Stay tuned for more information about tickets and
but is there no co-main events announced?
Other fights that are on the card. We good? Everybody happy now?
I'm very happy, Dana.
versus
Oh, he's lying, Chad. He's lying. You see him? He tried to talk about John Jones. He coughed up. Fuck. He's making it up, bro. He's making it up. That's the pure sign of a lie right there. He tried to say something positive about it. He started coughing up like something wrong. Look at him.
The heavyweight fight will happen.
Yeah,
Relax.
okay.
I'll announce that soon.
Hopefully.
Wait, what do you got? What do you got? Everybody happy?
Is there anything else?
Everybody mad? Everybody good? Let me see what we got here. Come on, fire away. We
Okay.
good?
So no co-main event?
He's happy. Power Slap 13 is coming.
Power
too.
slap. I'm good. That's my cue. That's my cue. I'm getting out. I'm heading out. Hey, but all of these fights, incredible. Like I said, I'm very, very happy that the UFC finally made it interesting for the summer. So we're gonna have a very hyped up UFC schedule during the summer. Yeah, I'll probably keep my thoughts for the prediction videos on who I think is gonna win. But all of them, I think those are incredible matchup. Real quick, I'll give a real quick take on each fight. Let me see. Let me just have them on the screen. So Armin really ruined his whole career with that pullout. Yeah, that's true. Hey, that's true when you think about it. What did Armin do, man? Who's Armin gonna fight now? Armin was supposed to be the next guy. Charles via my unconditional love and support. Yeah, bro, we're not looking good over here, man. We're not looking good. Hey, I put this Charles Oliveira shirt really for this occasion. If you want it, the link is in the description. There's a lot of great Charles Oliveira design as well. So if you're interested, look in the description and you can support your boy. So anyways, all I'm saying is I feel like we all have a common sentiment about this fight. Charles Oliveira is probably going to get smacked. Topuria has a lot of power, and if it translates, even when he moves up to 155, he's going to be very, very dangerous. And the thing is, when Charles Oliveira fought these heavy hitters like Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, it's usually like these Michael Chandlers, usually guys that don't threaten with their grappling as much. Michael Chandler later on in his career, and Oliveira, I feel like Oliveira isn't scared to shoot on a wrestler. But Topuria, who has a total package when it comes to grappling, he's not just a wrestler, he's a BJJ black belt as well. Oliveira is going to have trouble trying to mix it up. And I feel like everywhere this fight goes, it's going to be very, very dangerous for Oliveira to find success. Maybe the only thing that, can favor him is the reach, the length. He's a bit longer, taller. Topuria is a short guy. He is a short guy for featherweight. He's an even shorter guy for lightweight. So, yeah, it's not looking good. It's not looking good for my boy. But we'll keep some hopes, and I'll keep my prediction, my final prediction for when that fight week comes. I mean, it's pretty soon. UFC 317. I mean, UFC 316 is June. That's probably going to be end of June or early July. So it's coming up pretty soon. So I'll keep thinking about it and give you guys a official prediction when that fight week comes. UFC 319, Dricus du Plessis Chimaev. I'm leaning towards Chimaev. I think Chimaev's gonna win this. He's the favorite. But yeah, I just think he's just too good everywhere. But I do believe that du Plessis is gonna be his hardest matchup over a Gilbert Burns, because du Plessis is actually someone very, very difficult to take down. He's a strong guy, and that's the key point with Chimaev and everybody he fights. He doesn't have yes, he's very technically gifted, but what makes him different is he's just so strong and he bullies everybody. And I just don't see du Plessis being bullied. You know what I mean? He just has that strength that I think can counter some of Chimaev's move and his brute force. And so I think this is going to be a dogfight. I think it might go to a decision. Yeah, like you're asking me now, I'd probably go Chimaev. But, now that I just said it, if it goes to a decision, du Plessis might, third, fourth, fifth round. Do I see Chimaev staying consistent? I mean, it's going to be tough, but first impression, I'm going Chimaev here, probably by decision or late stoppage. That sounded crazy. Am I saying a Chimaev late stoppage? How am I saying that? Anyways, I can't think too much about it, or else I'll fucking overthink it. Jack Della Maddalena versus Makhachev. I'll go Makhachev. I think Makhachev finishes him pretty early, maybe second or third round. I love Jack Della Maddalena, but I don't think he was tested against Belal. I think Belal wanted. He had a premeditated decision. He took a premeditated decision to where he didn't want to be boring anymore. He decided that he wanted to have a striking match with Jack Della Maddalena, which was stupid, but at the same time kind of made him a bit more lovable. Like, we as fans kind of respect him a little bit more now because he was in an interesting fight and he poured his heart out into this fight. So, but I don't think Jack actually felt or was tested on the ground, and Makhachev's not going to make that same mistake. So those are my early predictions, but I'll keep them more precise for the official predictions during fight weeks. And so I'm very, very happy. Thank you, Dana, for making my job fun for the next couple of weeks, next couple of months. And yeah, if you like these t-shirts, check the link below. Peace out, boys.